Hey guys, so today I'm gonna do this tutorial based on how to do contour. It's gonna be a talk through on the technique that I do on my face and I often use on my clients. So I'm gonna be using two products. One of them is gonna be the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in medium. And as you can see here, I hit pan on this one because this is one of my holy grail contour powders out there. And the other one that I'm going to be using is the new Shade and Light palette by Kabuki, and you can see it here. So one side of my face is going to be done with the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder and the other one is going to be done with the Shade and Light palette. So if you're interested in seeing how I achieve this look and some tricks and tips on contour, just keep on watching. Have a good one. Bye. Okay, so for this technique we're going to be using powders. So first you want to do your foundation, your concealer, and then put on top the powders because you want to set them with the powder, and that's how you're going to be doing your contour. The reason why you do the concealer first is because if you do your contouring first and then the concealer, it's going to give a really harsh line around the eyes, and it's going to give you like that look of reverse raccoon eyes, and it's kind of weird. So yeah, you don't want to have any harsh lines. You always want to have everything really blended. So that's why you go first with your foundation, then put on top the concealer, and then you put on top the powder. But if you were using a cream contour, you could be doing it even before the foundation or before the concealer. It's a little bit different, but the powder is more of the traditional way, so we're going to be using that, and that's how we're going to be doing it. Okay, so like I told you, half of the face is going to be done with the Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder and my typical bronzer. That's like more my typical way to do it back in the day, but now that I got the Shade and Light palette, I'm gonna be doing this half of the face with the Shade and Light palette by Kabuki. And yeah, let me know which one do you prefer. So here's the Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder in medium. This is the only shade that it says medium, but it's the only shade that Kevyn Aucoin has. This one, it's amazing. There's no product like this one out there in the market, in my opinion. This is the only product that can actually deliver a more shadowy contour look without looking really brown or really like orangey or reddish tone. So this is really a grayish, true grayish brown. Okay, so to start with, I'm going to be using my Makeup Geek rounded blush brush, and this is supposed to be a blush brush, of course, but I use it to contour because I really like the way that it shapes my face. So yeah, this side is going to be using my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder, and you always want to start from the beginning of your hairline and going downwards when it comes to the shape of your cheekbones. Like you always have to follow the shape of your own cheekbones. Like if you suck in your cheeks, see that line? This line here is the one that you have to follow, but you always have to put more of the product at the beginning of the hairline and then dragging it down until here, until this area where the beginning of the brow and your eyes. That's where you're supposed to put more of the product so it looks way more natural. If you drag it a little bit more down, like let's say till here or even till next to the mouth, it's gonna look really fake, and it's gonna look more like a clownish drag makeup look. So if you want to keep it natural, you always have to go till here. It's always from the hairline till here. I'm gonna grab a little bit of product. You can see that I hit pen on this one. Top of the excess, and I'm gonna start dabbing the product first. I'm gonna start going in circular motions to blend that in. Blend it upwards a little bit. You always want to blend it upwards instead of downwards because that's gonna defeat the purpose of the contour if you go downwards. See, I'm going till here and always blending. Okay, that's for the cheekbones. I'm gonna do a little bit on the sides of the temples. Always dabbing, and then blending. See, this is gonna give you this is gonna give more dimension to the face. Instead of being just flat, like all just one color, this is gonna give more dimension to your face. And you always have to follow your own face shape, because that's what you want to accentuate. You want to accentuate your own natural beauty instead of creating something on top of it. So my own shape is like, it goes down here and then a little bit out, and then in again for the cheekbones, and then in for the jaw. Well, supposedly, because I have a lot of double chin. So for the jawline, you can also apply in this area here. So you can fake a little bit of your double chin when it comes to pictures. In real life, it's not gonna make that much of a difference, but trust me, in pictures, it does. So you always want to drag the product and then blend. Okay, see the difference? It's way more marked in here. Okay, so now that the cheekbone and the jaw lines are done, I'm gonna be moving forward to this area of the face, the temples. So since we're doing half and half, for this half with the Kevyn Aucoin, I'm gonna be mixing it with a little bit of my Bobbi brown bronzer in, oh my god, let me open this, in medium. I'm gonna use this one because when it comes to my forehead and my temples, I don't like using just a contour shade because it's a little bit too grayish for my taste. So I like to combine it with a bronzer that is gonna give a little bit more warmth to the face instead of just like going like straight up gray brownie shade. So that's why I combine it. Again, with the same brush, I'm gonna be grabbing a little bit of the bronzer and a little bit of the sculpting powder, tap the X's, and I'm gonna start dabbing on the temples and then blending down. All these steps are gonna be different depending on your face shape. For me, it's essential that I do always contouring, really like harsh contouring on my forehead, because I have a huge 5-finger forehead. 5-head, I call it all the time. Actually, you can see the difference between here and here. This has a little bit more dimension and this one doesn't. This one is mainly flat. So always blend. You don't want any harsh lines. And now for the nose and all the inside of the lid of the crease, I'm going to be using again the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder, but just the Kevyn Aucoin, not with the bronzer. And I'm going to be going in with a taper blending E40 brush from Sigma, and I really like this brush because this is a synthetic version and it's a little bit more dense and stiff in comparison to the normal and regular E40, so you're gonna be able to put a little bit more of the product and deposit it like really well in the areas where you want to deposit this. And I'm gonna go to town. I'm gonna start with this area because when it comes to contouring, it's all about playing and accentuating the shape of your face. And I really like accentuating this area here. I really like to deepen it up just to fake a little bit more of that harsh bone structure. I really like doing that, and I'm gonna be going a little bit on my natural crease and blended it outwards a little bit to give a little bit more shape to my eyes. Okay, now that it's deposited, I'm gonna start blending. I'm gonna take a little bit of the excess of the product and start blending. Okay, so that's that. This is gonna look pretty crazy right now, but wait till we have the other half of the face, and then it's gonna make more sense. But yeah, so this is the side with the Kevyn Aucoin and a little bit mixed with my Bobbi Brown bronzer. Okay, so now for the other half of the face, I'm gonna be using the Shade and Line palette by Kevyn, and I bought this like 3 weeks ago, and I really like how it looks. I would say when it comes to Sephora, this is the closest kind of contour palette that I've found there, because you have 3 ranges of contouring, supposed to be the lightest one, then the medium, and then the darkest one, but I combined all of them, of course, because I can actually not compare this the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting powder to any of the shades there. I have to mix and match all 3 of them, because that's the only way that I can get away with the color that I want to actually mimic this look on this side with the Kevyn Aucoin and the bronzer. So yeah, I'm gonna do what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks when it comes to this palette. I'm gonna start with the lightest shade here, this one. This one is a little bit more powdery. That's the only downside of it. Look, I'm gonna top off the excess and a lot comes out. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the same technique, going and dabbing at the beginning of the hairline and then going down a little bit. Dabbing. Gonna grab a little bit more. Going down, but never further than here. Okay, so I have the first shade, and it's a light one. It looks natural, I like it, but sometimes I want to go further with my contour. And to do that, I'm gonna grab the darkest shade. And don't be scared. I'm gonna grab just a little bit, top off the excess, and this one I'm gonna mainly put it at the beginning of the line that we just created. So just on this area and blending upwards a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit of the excess. And now for the jawline. For this area, I'm gonna be using mainly the darkest one and combining a little bit with the lightest one. And I'm gonna go to town. Okay, so that's that. And for the upper area, the forehead, I'm gonna use a combination of the lightest one and the center one. The center one is a little bit more warm tone. That's why I'm gonna use it to do the same thing that I did with the sculpting powder and the bronzer from Bobbi Brown, because this one is a little bit warmer and this one is a little bit more of the grayish kind of tone that I want to actually contour. So I'm gonna mix both of them, and then I'm gonna do my forehead. And I'm gonna go here, first dabbing always. Going a little bit down here. Okay, and now for my nose, I'm going to be using the lightest shade and the same motion that we did on the other side of the face. So now if you really want to really sharp and exaggerate the look of your contour, of the cheek ones at least, you can go back with your foundation brush. It can be this one, it can be the typical one, the foundation brush, it can be your beauty blender. With the leftovers of your foundation, you're gonna be going back and just slide that and clean up that line so you can have a little bit more of that sharp line that you're looking for. Same to the other side. See? It actually looks a lot more sharp. Okay, so that's it. I'm just gonna go and do the rest of my makeup, and I'll get back to you in a little bit. Okay, so the makeup is done, and remember this side is done with Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in medium and my Bobbi Brown bronzer in natural, and this side is done with Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. So yeah, let me know which one do you like better, and all the products that I used on the rest of my face to do the rest of my makeup, they're gonna be in the description bar below, and I'm gonna link everything down there. So yeah, I hope you like it, and please give it a thumbs up and share, and please keep on watching. Have a good one. Bye.